books on a budget, books on a budget with Baker.
Hey everyone. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. And welcome to another book release by Baker Media, which makes this 2 and Plevin 1. I'm not as good a writer as Plevin, but again, no intro. Well, I can give you an intro if you need one. Let me find one.
Jamie, the talk of the town. Dollar store diva, she's holding it down. In thrift shop heels and vintage shine, looking like a million, but all on a dime. She don't need a crown or gold to glean. Fashion on a budget, living the dream. With every step, she's turning heads, slaying the style without breaking the bread. Oh, Jamie, beauty queen on a dime, stealing hearts without spending a dime. Dollar store magic, she's the one to know. Looking like a star on a budget low. Jamie, the talk of the town. Dollar store diva, she's holding it down. In thrift shop heels and vintage shine, looking like a million, but all on a dime. She don't need a crown or gold to glean. Fashion on a budget, living the dream. With every step, she's turning heads, slaying the style without breaking the bread. Oh, Jamie, beauty queen on a dime, stealing hearts without spending a dime. Dollar store magic, she's the one to know. Looking like a star on a budget low. Deals are rock, she's got the plug, living like royalty, showing the love. Jamie, queen of style, making it look easy all the while. Beauty queen on a dime.
Books on a budget, books on a budget with Baker.
Welcome all. I hope you're happy now, Lefty, that you got a full intro, even though it's for Jamie's beauty streams, so it doesn't really make sense. But hey, it's Sunday. Sunday is fun day, and fun days is when we don't make sense. No, welcome to this read-along book club, where the second book in the children's book series released by Baker Media will be read, because unlike others who only have one book, I now have two books, and these are fiction books, because you'll find out why it's fiction, and it has absolutely nothing to do with any current cases or any people living out in the world, just so no one gets any ideas. Hey, FD Food Fairy, with your silly accent, can read, write, and speak American? Nope. Anything will be better than Plevin's book. Well, I might disappoint you yet. Hey, Krista, and despite, feel like that was a setup. But it wasn't. Get your wine and your Kindle. Smut encouraged. This isn't smut, this is a children's book. Hey, Alice G and Panella. No. This is the book of Caran and the farm of Can't Not Lie. See, that's a play on word that means they always lie. And it's dedicated for all the baby bakers out there. May you always remember that even when lies feel big, the truth is always stronger, braver, and brighter. Truth always wins. Caran was a tiny gray kitten with a bright green eyes and a brave little heart. One chilly winter day, she went to visit a new farm called Can't Not Lie. A funny name for a place, but Caran didn't mind. She was just excited to see her very best friend who lived there. Can't Not Lie was filled with all kinds of animals. There were chickens who wore tiny hats, ducks who told silly jokes, and cows who sang songs at sunset. But at the very top of the farm's pecking order stood a big old horse named Jan. All the other animals called her Jan, 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 sometimes once, sometimes 3 times, maybe because she always made sure they remembered her name. Jan wasn't very kind, especially not to new animals like Caran. She was worried. What if all the other animals thought Caran was much more fun than her? Of course it's legit. I made a book. The only animal who loved Jan more than anyone was Carrie, the old bulldog who lived on the farm forever. Carrie would do anything Jan wanted. She didn't always understand what was happening, but she always smiled and said, "Whatever you want, Jan, Jan, Jan." Then one night, when the snow was falling thick and heavy, a big accident happened on the farm. Karen's dear friend had to leave quickly, moving far away to Vermont with Chloe, a German shepherd. Of course, I'm insulted. I worked a lot making this book. Chloe is a good girl. She moved with to Vermont. Nobody knew exactly why the accident happened. Look at all their little question marks. But Jan saw her chance. She leaned close to Carrie and whispered, "Hey, this is our chance to make Caran leave." Carrie wagged her tail and nodded. "Whatever you want, Jan, Jan, Jan." Jan galloped deep into the woods to find Renan, the meanest weasel around. Renan was always looking for trouble, and Jan knew it. "We need you to make things bad for Caran," Jan said, tossing her mane. We will lie to help." Caran needs more jawls and slobber. It wasn't the best AI product. I tried to make it. Well, no person alive with a buck tooth has made any inspiration for Jan. Renan's eyes glinted. He hurried to the farm owner, a big, strong goose named Beverage. "I know who caused the accident," Renan squeaked. "It was Caran." Beverage tilted her head. "Can you prove it?" It should be she. I made a spelling mistake. Well, it's like Plevin's book. Mistakes will be made. "I have witnesses," Renan lied. Beveridge looked at Renan, who was always causing trouble. She looked at Jan and Carrie, who always made up stories. And then she looked at Caran, the little kitten who had only been ever been kind. Still, on Can't Not Lie, they always stuck with their own, even when they were wrong. Beveridge took a deep breath, ready to tell Caran to leave the farm forever. But then, whoosh! Bev is hiding something under the overalls. Maybe a white claw or two. Even animals likes white claws. Hey, Lita. Down from the clouds soared a team of animals wearing shiny capes, the super animals of justice. They flew in circles around Caran, their capes snapping in the wind. One of them, a wise old owl, spoke loud and clear. Don't fear, little Caran. You lost your friend, but you will never lose justice. The other super animals nodded, cheering and chirping and barking and mooing. Beverage gulped. Maybe, just maybe, it was time for Can't Not Lie to change. And from that snowy day forward, Caran knew, even when bad animals tell lies, the truth always has wings strong enough to fly. And a very special thanks to my wonderful team whose heart and spirit helped bring this story to life. This story is a work of imagination, and any similarities to real people, animals, or places is purely coincidental. Never forget, in every field, every farm, every life's truth shines brighter than any lie. Go team. So this was the story of Caran, who sadly went to visit her friend on the farm of Can't Not Lie. Again, any town that sounds kind of like that. Don't think about it. Sadly, her friend gets into an accident, and the other mean people, animals on the farm, tries to set her up. And I might be biased, but it's a more accurate book than Plevin's book. Just if anyone, even if you wanted to compare it to the Karen Reed case, it's also more accurate than Plevin's book because Plevin don't know shit. oh. Oh, I have the new one. Olivia. This is why I don't need downtime. You can't hear it? Well, that's because you're deaf. I just published a series of 12 children's books on Amazon, 6 double volumes. Oh, amazing. Hopefully it's way better than my crappy 4 hours of work. Thank you so much. Well, I try to do it more personal because when you cover the case so many hours a day, you just want to say what your feeling was more than you can go to other channels who do the 45-minute breakdowns. You don't hear it? I don't know why you can't hear it. It's right next to the mouse. It doesn't pick up the sound very well. I'm sorry. Just the story needs to be a video. Well, I don't have any skills with video editing or how to make it work, so I can't do it, sadly. Oh, Loopy, you are nice. Available soon on all Scholastic book fairs. Well, I need to. I can't remember how I did ebooks the last time. I actually did publish one ebook just to say I published a book just like Plevin. That was 4 hours. No, it was 40 pages. I can't believe you wrote this, seeing as Plevin says you don't even speak American. Well, I don't speak American. I speak the Queen's English. I loved an old school book fair. But Jamie, you only read smut novels. If it doesn't have a half-dressed man on the front page, you're not buying it. Hey, 80s. Do it reading Rainbow style and just voice over the book. I don't know what reading Rainbow is. I don't think we have that in Denmark. Part 2, the cat in a hat shows up to clean up. Well, this was because I didn't get to bed last night because I was so happy. Thank you all for the 16,000 subscribers. I was so happy that I had the 16,000 subscribers. And I was talking to my mod team. So I didn't get to bed till 2. Then I woke up at 6 and I thought, nope. And then I slept until 10 o'clock. And then when I don't get my normal day rhythm, I do crazy stuff. So I wrote a book and made AI art for it. because I'm an idiot. Someone said, isn't that the one with Geordie from Star Trek? I know something with a reading rainbow. I've heard about it in a movie or somewhere. We need this to be a series talking about leaf blowers and red solo cups. If you know how hard it is to get AI to try and do what, if I could just paint stuff kind of okay, I would do it. Valhalla, you just missed a reading of. I'm not saying this. People out there are saying this because I am the author. So, but some called it probably the greatest novel since One Piece. Again, I would never go that far, but it's rumors I've heard on the street. Someone claimed it was the greatest novel since One Piece. One Piece is a bad book. How is your Sunday? No, I don't make anything for Baby Baker. I'm going to Baby Baker's next Thursday. I'm going to bring him cake. Do you think Yannetti should have told the jury to check their phones after the view? No, I don't. That would be one of those. No, I think he did it okay. I think he did what he should. Children's book where the guy read books for kids. Yeah, I knew it was him. I don't. No one. Well, I have to say one thing. I got really. That's why I did this today, because I needed to get some anger out of my system. I had someone who was in my chat who complained that in my crusty panties video yesterday, I was a misogynist. And I'm not one to do this, but how the fuck dare you? This is one of these things that kind of like calling people the bad people from the second world kerfuffle, calling people, well, you don't like people of other skins. It's one of these really bad things about the internet that people always see everything wrong with others and just say really stupid things. I don't mind being called most things, but as a father of two wonderful daughters who I have done everything in my life to give them as good a life as possible, who I always have encouraged, who I've always told, you are at least equal to everyone else. How dare some random person come in my chat and complain that I'm a misogynist? I don't hate women. My audience is 86 point something percent women. My entire mod team is something like 90 something percent women. Being a misogynist isn't just something because I said Kate Peters is a ugly, fat, disgustable human being. That has nothing to do with being a misogynist. A misogynist don't like women. And if you're accusing me of not liking women, you are dumb enough to believe that the people on the other side is right. I really despise that people think it's okay. Normally, I don't cry when people say stuff to me. I'm not a fan of safe spaces. I've been in the trenches of cut two lobbies. I normally boot people who call me that because it's such a stupid take to have. And it's one of those, well, you're just a misogynist. Well, sadly, you're an idiot. Because people who think I'm a misogynist must really need help just to tie their shoelaces with Velcro. I hate people who call other people that. And I hate people who are misogynistic because no one should hate other people because of their gender. And I just hate that people think it's okay. Just because I don't like Kate Peters, she's one woman who has a horrible history, who's a shitty mother, who I wouldn't trust as far as I can toss her. And I have a bad back and she's really fat, so I can't toss her that long. Hating her doesn't make me a misogynist. Mentioning that a lady might have a little too much cleavage, or some lady might have another thing that you find funny because she's wearing a weird outfit, doesn't make you a misogynist. Hating women make you a misogynist. I hate people like you. You are the one who makes the internet a bad place because you're a self-righteous a-hole. Sorry, everyone. I had to get it out. You don't even like women to clean around you. Well, I don't mind women cleaning around me if they just don't do it while I'm streaming. Yeah, that's the big problem. They are just throwing it in your face. And again, you can call me fat. You can call me a racist. You can call me a Nazi, whatever you want to call me. But I have 2 daughters who I adore more than anything in the world. And claiming I hate women really hurts me because nothing has brought me as much joy as those 2 ladies. Sorry. Valhalla is the DEI hire. Slightly retarded, so I get him with a discount. No, again, never ever. When I get mad at people, I block people. I don't need anyone to fight my battles. But just think about it. Next time you think that we are doing something in bad faith, kind of like Mo said something, people got in all up in arms because she said something in a stream. Sometimes we say things that, and maybe you don't like it, but hey, say, do you know this person? Do you know that? It's the same when people saying Karen Reed's face looks bad. Well, you don't know what she's been going through. You're not sitting in court. But still, you can say, I think the videos where they film her and I know it's a film trick to make her look like a Karen. Doesn't make any of us misogynist or assholes or anything. I hate these people. Hate these people. Baker is a girl dad. I am the biggest girl dad. I'm the guy everyone. One time I was in bed. I think I had to go to work or something, and at 1 a.m, my brother called me and he said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I'm sleeping." "Yeah, I have a problem." I said, "Oh." At 1 a.m, yeah, there's a girl following my girlfriend home from town. I said, "Oh, where is she?" And said, "Why are you calling me? Get on the phone with her. Just tell me where she is." And I drove into town and had a talk with this friendly fella about not following women home, not even if it's just because you go in the same direction. Just don't do it. These people can move around. If they don't like what you're saying, this is your time. They should just don't call people things like that. T-Rex, I feel like Baker is kind of like me. He doesn't dislike women. He dislike everyone inherently, regardless of race, religion, sex, or creed, unless they are Swedish, obviously. Swedish isn't, they're not people, so it's okay to hate Swedish people. But Pernilla can vouch for me. I didn't say much anti-Swedish when she was around me. Only every second, third word. Yeah, I hate her because she's a bad person. And it's another thing with, oh, you can't criticize her because she doesn't have dangly bits. Well, of course I can, because I treat everyone equal. Show me you're an idiot, I'll treat you like an idiot. Hey, Lefty, show me you're a good person, I'll treat you as a good person. That's why I try to reach out. That's why I try to bring as many creators on as I can to try and help them out. Next Sunday, I will have Alexa's room back on, and we're going to talk about the Karen Reed case. Actually, was in talk about maybe doing something today with another female. Funny how many females I give the chance with my hatred for women. Everyone should have a chance to prove they're a good person. If they can't do that, then I'll treat them like an a-hole. Too much cleavage doesn't exist. Well, you haven't met women old enough then. She really is a shitty mom. When I hear the audio the first time I knew it, she escalated that fight to wake up her kids. Oh no, that's not Krusty. That's Lindsay. That's Krusty's friend, old friend, the one who set up Aiden. No, it wasn't Caffey Daffy. It was someone, and the worst part was one with 3 Karen Reed as their avatar. If I hate women, why have I been fighting? Well, the grift is good, but why have I been fighting so hard for Karen Reed over the last 2 years to bring an audience, to try and help, try to cooperate with other people? If I hated women, wouldn't I just sit there and say, well, she's a woman. Women can't drive cars. You know what I mean? She probably did it. It's really funny how big mouths get when there is no danger of getting punched in the face. That's why I always say every guy in the world should be punched in the face at least once, just to know what happened when you goes too far. Constructive criticism, yeah. Just saying stupid things is yeah. For kid books, highly recommend the Turtle Twins. Got them for a few friends' kid, and they love them. ABC's of Liberty Economics Kids version of Hobbes and Natural Reserve Creation. All great. Never heard about those. You recommended me, well, not you, but Chad recommended me one of those help your kids sleep faster books, and I bought that for a baby baker, and apparently it helped. So, and there's 2 books, I think. I can't remember the name of it, but apparently Baby Baker liked it. Staunch feminist here. Wouldn't watch, let alone subscribe or become a muffin if I thought you were sexist. Women should be called out for their bad behavior just as much as men, for F's sake. Exactly. Equal rights comes with equal possibility to be called a bad person, because that's true equality. We treat you equal. We don't give kids gloves to men or women. I don't like people. Well, yeah, seriously, I do. Well, I have a shirt that says I hate people. Panilla is always here because she knows as a Swede she needs to be put in her place. But thank you, despite. After my military service, I just don't like most people. I used to be very social. I don't know what it is. Funny thing that I've always been very, very introvert. You're a YouTuber? Yeah. And I have a theory that most YouTubers are really introvert, because we can do this where I can look 90 people in the eyes at the same time without meeting them. But going to Tennessee last year, because I had a big problem with my introvertness, and kind of where I felt I was after my mom passed away. So I made a very conscious decision of trying to get out and be more out. And I would say last year in Tennessee, meeting so many different people and talking to so many different people really did me good, because I'm if I could, I would live in a forest somewhere. As long as I have high speed internet and running water, I'll be fine. But I need those get out and get some social credit score. People like Carol Roberts are why I don't talk or deal with anyone. These women are the bane of society. This example of women is why women don't belong outside of the house. I think the problem might be that Carrie is a victim. Carrie is a victim of something that probably happened during late middle school, early high school, where she just wasn't popular enough. and then she settled. But she settled with a grudge. Nothing will ever be good enough for her because she didn't have the right friends, she didn't have the right husband, she didn't have the right job, she didn't have the right house, she didn't have the right car, she didn't have the right life. And she will always carry that burden through her life. And the remedy to that is to try and be better than everyone else. It's it's a mentality that's really, really bad for you because it'll give you such a low self-esteem that when you're always walking around measuring you against everyone else, and you have this thing where you probably were bullied in school or didn't hang with the cool club and you really wanted to, you will do almost anything to get recognition. That's why as soon as Jen looked at her direction the second time, she would kill for her because that woman, I bet you she had no real friends. She had those hey friends. That's why she clung on to John, tried to insert herself in his life so he could finally be what she had deserved because she deserves more. I bet she is that type of person. It's it's that weird form of jealousy, and it just eats away at your soul, and you will never be satisfied. And it's not just for women. It's for a lot of people who just feel they never got what they deserved, and you will always go around and being bitter, and being bitter eats your soul. I wish people had critical thinking skills and understood what misogyny means. Stacy LaBruno, so would I. Again, it's just become a word people are saying because, well, they feel everyone should think like they do. I never ever demand that anyone who comes on my channel, sits on my show, watches me, need to have the same opinion as me. I actually encourage that we don't think the same way. That's why I like having Mo and Valhalla on because we have good conversations. If we all agree it's a boring gray world we live in. But these people are, oh, my Fifi's got hurt. Everyone should change. Yeah, maybe you should say, well, I'm just going to take a break from that person for a while. If you knew how many channels I swap through watching, I don't watch much LawTube when I'm not streaming myself because it's just weird. But sometimes they cover topics you don't care about, or they start. I hate it when they turn to politics because I don't care about American politics. And then you just move on. I don't go in their chat and say, "Hey, last week you talked about a football manager, and this week you talk about Oblivion." I hate Oblivion. Go back and talk about football manager. You are a football hater. Ugh. She's also a victim of Jen's manipulation. Yeah, but she's an easy victim because she wants the attention. She's one of those girls who really wish she had been one of the popular girls in school. Um, I don't know. Do we have any movies where I can bring one of them up? Mm. Kind of like Finch in American Pie, who can never get back to that night he had with Stifler's mom. He will always go around and build stories about how perfect his life is and how great it is. But in reality, it'll never be good because he's constantly living for that one more night with Stifler's mom. And that's why his life doesn't get complete until he meets, I believe he meets a girl in American Pie, the wedding. No, reunion. Reunion. I think it's reunion. Um, but until then, he couldn't find happiness in life because he was constantly chasing a dream that would never be. And Carrie was the same. And now she finally had an in. Oh, I can drive you around. Yes, I can make a timeline. Yes, I can hang with you. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. She's very easily manipulated because she wants to be a part of the cool kids club. And it's sad when people are like that. The cool crowd is overrated. They frequently peak in high school and they live miserable lives. Yeah, that's another thing and you can tell isn't that an American trope where they run around with their Letterman jacket in their 40s and drive a banged up muscle car thinking it can still pull the skirt off a teenager if I wanted to. No, it can't. You're just an old fat guy in an old banged up car. Get on with it. Find new joys in life. Get a kid. It's really fun to have kids. Get a grandkid. The cool kids in high school are now the druggy losers who have nothing at all. Not all of them. Now, some of them will become that because, again, they living the dream. The Duff. Was it the Duff he was called? No. Watching Carrie the other day, I really felt like she believed there was zero chance she had been lied to, so she wasn't grasping the big deal of her lie. I actually think she knew she lied. After reading that affidavit yesterday, and I have to preference it with all the could be whatever, and it's only a hearsay so far. If all of them have been having all of these, she felt for the first time in her life had importance because she was the go-between between her great friend Jen and this important DA Morrissey. She's the go-between. She's the one who was the go-between between the O'Keefe family. One person. Oh, that's. I want to kiss you over and over and again. Well, on a Sunday? Being easily manipulated isn't the same as being a lie. She's not a victim. She wanted it. Yeah, I didn't feel sorry for her this time. I felt sorry for her the first time. I thought she was just a stupid dupe that got into it. No, she actively sought it out and she loved the attention it gave. And she loved being so important that she was the one who ran to Morrissey. So there was no paper trail between the McAlberts. And sorry, just got a message. There was no paper trail between the McAlberts and the DA's office. She loved the attention. She is happy as a pig in mud. And you can tell it how? Because the second he said, you can go to prison for lying, her demeanor totally changed. She never, ever thought that could be a possibility. She thought, I'm going to be high on the high. No, I'm going to be, what is it? I'm going to live.
Honey, I'm taking you to Paris and I'm going to get you a Louis Vuitton bag for God only knows how many thousands of dollars because we have somebody else's money to live high on a hog, right? He's not.
To live high on a hog. I love this guy.
For God only knows how many thousands of dollars because we have somebody else's money to live high on a hog, right? These documents don't deal with this.
I love that guy. His Arnold accent and hi and a hug. You took the words right out of my mouth. She got a sense of importance. Very powerful feeling like Oxy. Especially for those who didn't come out of high school, who always, and I don't think she was part of the Cool Kids Club. I think her junior prom with John, I bet you she'll still flick the bean to the memory of that. Jamie, this is why you should be on the panel because I say stuff like that. But I think she still dreams of John. John was the one, kind of like that weird. I have a picture of him. Oh, maybe it's because I said she had old arms. I'm a misogynist. But that's an observation. That's not misogynistic to say she has old arms. Also say polo balls have big balls. That's not misandrist. These people seem to think they can say whatever they want and none can prove them wrong. I just hope that at this point someone can do it, because we have a possibility, but if it's not the feds that's going to pressure anyone, no one's going to roll. Baker saying edging and flicking the beans now. What is happening? Jamie doesn't show up. That's Jamie. Yeah. I blame Jamie. Don't think about it. Don't Google it. Wayfair financing equals Jim McCabe. I like that one. Carrie lost her V to John at junior prom and he dumped her. I don't know if she lost her V card on. How old are you at junior prom? But funny, she didn't go to senior prom with him. I bet you she wanted to. Yeah, crazy Tara. She's one of these women who would slice your tires and she would watch that movie where she links him to the bed with his broken leg. Not Dolores Claiborne. The Stephen King movie. Hey, Paula B. Nope. Did I go over Peggy's testimony? Not after watching it. The only thing I can say with Peggy's testimony is I thought it was horrendous that they brought her to the stand, because what did she do? She lied her ass off, or she told a truth that's not the same truth as her son's truth, because we know from the interview in the backyard where he's suing Caran for money that he said he gave her permission to come over. And now we have Peg sitting there saying, well, she just stopped by and she ran upstairs. She didn't want to talk. And we know that's not true from Paul. And to me, again, I sympathize with your loss. I do. No parent should bury one kid, shouldn't bury two kids. But I have to preference that with saying, when you lost your first kid, you got angry at your second kid for not taking the babies because you didn't want them. You weren't speaking with him. And how did you treat Caran, his girlfriend, when she was in desperate need of a hug, a little human touch? You said, what's she doing here? You couldn't even say her name. I hope it's just because you haven't processed your grief yet that you blame her, that made you blind to the world. But the way you act, woman, especially on the stand, shows that I can understand why you and John weren't speaking when he passed away. No, I just didn't sleep. I never get any action. You know that. Peggy allowed alcohol abuse. Well, all of them abuses alcohol. That's where I turned heel on her instantly, because the first joke, I didn't like it because I've seen how he sits in the courtroom and he looks very, very, very sad to be there. We know he liked Caran because she went to church with him. Mo laughed at the first joke. Then she built on it and saying, so that must have been enough. That shows me she's a horrible, horrible woman. Again, my mom's last word after 42 years of marriage with my dad, after she'd been in a kind of coma for almost a day, she woke up, looked at him and said, do you think we did all right by the kids? That was the last thought my mom had. And he clapped her hands and said, yes, they will be fine. And she never woke again. That's the only thought she had after 42 years was, did she make our lives good enough? This woman is sitting there in front of her son and saying she hates her dad, his dad. I don't like people like that. I think Caran and Jen said something to his mom about Jen hitting him, Caran hitting him. Someone put that worm in her ear. Why did Carrie drive up there with the 4-wheel drive, even though they had 2 cars with 4-wheel drive, and she's such a bad driver, she spun out on the freeway and had to take the back roads? None of it makes sense. Would she be picky in your farm story? I have no living people has made anything, but that maybe I'll make a follow-up. Nope, I never talk shit about you, Brandon. You know that. Burkhardt suggested the whole she hit him with a car thing was Peggy's brainchild. Check out her stream. Could be. Yeah, if Carrie said, yeah, and I saw her tail light, it looked weird, and she probably hit him. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, now Paul and his mother are sitting together. And I know people are saying, well, it's because they look on social media and sees that we mention it, but I don't think we did that all through the first trial as well. But yeah. Very disrespectful of her husband. My parents were married 63 years and loved each other and all of us to the very end. Yeah. Did my parents fight? Yeah. Did they fight so much that we thought they were getting divorced sometimes? Yep. Did they stick it out for 42 years through illness, 4 kids? How many grandkids? 5 grandkids, taking care of cousins and other that might have had a little trouble at home, just stayed with us. Yeah. Because life isn't dancing on roses, as we say in Denmark. Life is up and down. And 2 people will eventually yell at each other. But sitting in front of the world and demean your husband, that tells me that you're a horrible person when the camera is off. Main roads are plowed before side streets, always. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I used to be in that subcommittee in the city when I was in city council, and we had, these are A roads. A roads are always, because we had to take care of the cities, and then outside of the city, that was that's another branch that took care of them. But so we had A roads were the main thoroughfares, the big roads. They were always the first one to be prepped and to be plowed. Then we had B roads, that was connecting roads to the A roads. So they could get to the A roads, that was clear. Then you had C roads. That would be smaller roads, and those back roads would probably be a C or D in my city. So don't tell me that they would do back roads before they do highways. That's what I want to know. Her driving to get Peggy was odd. Why did she think she was so important that she would pick her up and not her own kid or her own husband? Why didn't any men drive a car that night? The only man who drove a car, 2 men. Higgins, who went and moved cars at the police station, and Caitlin's boyfriend, because she's a little high maintenance. Every other car was driven by women that night. I could understand it if they were drunk, but if you called at 5 a.m. and woke my significant other up, I would be in the car making sure it was hot and running when she came out. It doesn't make sense. Either they knew they weren't going to find anything, or they didn't want to be there when they found something. That's the more I think about that part, because no matter how much of a misogynist I am, I don't know any man who would tell his wife Remember, the worst blizzard in history. Everyone was out the night before because it'll be a 3-day house call. The house arrest. If anyone had said to me, I'm going out driving at 5 in the morning, I would have told you, no, you're not. And if you're going out, I'll be driving. Not because women can't drive or anything, but I would be more happy that I was with you in the car. If anything happened, if the car stalled, if we needed to go for help, I would be there. So you could stay in the car with the blankets, with everything, and I could go out in the snow. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but that's how it would have happened in the Baker house. The men were all passed out of the night and drinking and moving bodies. Didn't Ryan Nagel drive to? No, he was shotgunning his buddy's car. He was in the passenger seat talking to his sister. Carrie's husband was supposedly good friends with John, but yeah, Carrie, go ahead and see about John. Yeah, she said he was away. He was more connected to him. And then I saw that Good Morning America interview, and she's sitting there like, oh, we did everything together. She's such a liar. I'm sorry to all the other YouTubers out there who says Gennady and Alan Jackson are too hard on the witnesses. It makes the jury think bad about them. No, I think it shows every one of these cracks under pressure because they are under pressure. Sadly, tomorrow when we start, there won't be a Bev coming in, slamming the door and saying, this will have serious consequences. They're probably not even going to be mentioned what was dropped in Aiden's case, which it should be. And tomorrow she will deny Arca at least testifying about as Wadir, not Wadir, rebuttal witnesses. I'll bet eating one more of those dill pickle monstrosities I got yesterday. I'll eat one more of those if she doesn't deny Arca to be rebuttal witness. She will say they can testify like they did in the first trial, but they are not allowed to rebut the Commonwealth expert. That's my prediction. I call BS. That was no blizzard. The lake effect we have in upstate New York makes that storm looks like the flurries. Hey, Nina Canadian. I need to go back and find all the dash cam. Does anyone know? Maybe Olivia knows. Sleuthy maybe knows. If anyone clipped all of the dash cam, because I bet you, and I said this when I watched the camera the other day, I bet you if we have another car's pictures from driving up there, that snowstorm was no snowstorm. We would call it snow weather in Denmark. That's where it's snowing. Yes, it'll accumulate on the side streets because they are not A streets. They don't get cleaned instantly, but it wasn't a snowstorm. No effing way. If you didn't have all of that bad windshield wiper action in front of the dash cam, you wouldn't believe it was a snowstorm. And I really hope that the defense at some point when they're talking about the dash cam video will point out how clearly you can see everything when you're actually watching it. I noticed mailboxes on the other side. I could see the flagpole. You can clearly see the cars coming up, and they're always like, yeah, I was having the spotlight on because it was impossible to see anything. No, it wasn't. And putting the spotlight, let me tell you something, brother. If you put on the spotlight in a snowstorm, do you know what you're going to do? You're going to see less because when you beam a light into a snow flurry, it'll just do a whiteout. So don't tell me anyone who is driving in snow every single year thinks, oh, I'm just going to swivel my spotlight around because then I can clearly see what happens. I know Plevin says I don't know how snow works, but I know enough about driving in snow that if you're driving at night in snow and you do the old high beam trick, you'll just have a white wall in front of you. Because snow is white and it reflects the light. That's why you don't ride with your high beams on in snow when it's snowing out. So again, another part of the story that makes no sense. Carrie said it was treacherous. They all have different ways of describing it. And oh, we had to remove that much snow before we could leave. We know there was no snow there. I showed you Snooty sent me the weather report from that day. It really wasn't that bad until later. Everyone is talking about Snowmageddon 2022, but we have the weather chart. This is from 7 a.m. 7 a.m. at Norwood. That's just a little northeast, I believe. 0.39 inches. 24-hour snowfall inches. 3.3 inches of snow. That's nothing. I don't know what snowpack is, but again, 3.3 inches of snow the last 24 hours at 7 a.m. At 7 a.m., John was at the hospital. They want you to believe this is the worst snowstorm in history ever. This is the accumulated snow for the last 24 hours. They should bring this up when they get the weatherman on the stand. Oh, I hit the mute button. I'm so smart. We got 3 inches of snow a few weeks ago. Yeah, and you didn't shut down because of it. Because it's 3 inches of snow. 3 inches, that's like 18. I can't know how much is. I can't remember inches. No, I was just behind the scenes, and then I did muted myself. Yeah, the majority of snow. That's the deceptive part, because when the third team is there, when all the pictures are taken, there's a whole lot of snow, because there was a effing blizzard. I think it starts at 7:30. But that's what I think. I think that's what the defense needs to shine a light on as well. This entire story about the massive snowfall and how impossible it was to be outside and how covered he was in snow. 3.3 inches. That's what most ladies will call barely satisfying. Just look at Karen's car when she left John's house, just a dusting of snow. Yeah, there's enough to cover the ground. But if there's been a plow through and... No, there's not enough buildup on the roof of the car either from John. Yeah, so that's 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch. So that's... that much snow. That covered a 212-pound body. That much. And that's in 24 hours. Yeah, and that's why I want to go back and see if I can find. I believe there was 2 different dash cams, but one of them I don't think we saw driving to the place. We got 30 inches a month ago, over a day and a half. It was insane. Last year we had a monster blizzard on May 14th. They do not live in blizzard country. No, but they do live in snow country. If Fedorowski is here and I told him, you're getting this much snow, he would laugh and say, "Oh, I'm wearing shorts." Oh, Fedorowski is here. If you can fill a red Solo Cup with the snow that fell within a county, it's dangerous and children can't go to school. Yeah. Why won't they get the camera from house across the street? Because apparently there is no camera recording from across the street. But what we do have is photos from across the street. Those photos makes it even more unbelievable that Brian Albert didn't wake up. Because I know I didn't save them. If you go and find those pictures, you will see how the weather was. I need to go find these pictures. Because they take the pictures while the EMTs are still at the house. And you can clearly see it's not a snowstorm. 6 feet in one storm. I posted pics on Discord, and even then we weren't stranded. No. 220 inches in one day, not a problem. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, all the snow talk in this case and claims of blizzards make me think that worries me something quite different in Canton. Yeah, it's again, we live in the hot part of Scandinavia, and I've seen more snow this year than they did. Yeah, I think I have shown them, but I always forget when I see them. Maybe they are on Discord because Marissa and Jemima are good at finding the stuff I didn't know I'm going to need when I get a thought 20 days later. That's the big problem with this case. There's so much stuff to scroll through because there's been so many affidavits, so many filings. No, that's not the one from across the street. These are the infotainment. But we can do this. I can show you how little snow there was. This is the big one from when she drives past the library at 5:15:55. Yeah, a couple of inches. That's all that's accumulated. And an hour later, they claim it's so hard to drive. You can see this main road has been cleared at one point. But I don't know if this is the worst snowstorm in history in America. You really need to grow a pair. You can see there's no snow accumulated on the stairs. There's a little bit on the bushes. Nothing over here. You can see where the snow has been cleared on this sidewalk. Again, it's a whole myth that they have had luck perpetrating the lie on, because later in the day there'll come a ton of snow. I mean, you could say it was a decent amount of snow for smaller town in this area, but they refuse to call a spade on anything. Yeah, that's the big problem. It's the constant over exaggeration of the, because everyone, I had to go out and clear my driveway before I could drive to the crime scene. Why? Again, who needs to clear that driveway for this? If you have a decent car, I have a shitty Opel with a 1.4 liter engine. It can't pull the top off a pudding. I could drive in this weather, no problem. And I don't even have four-wheel drive. I have all-year tires. It'll be no problem. It'll be fun going around the corners. You can make some cool handbrake slides. But no one in their right mind would say, I had to get up and I had to clean the driveway and it took me 45 minutes. Well, then you need a better shovel. You would think they had heard about salt. I actually think they salt in this part of the country, but if it's a rapid freeze, maybe they didn't salt it. It may have been slippery, but not accumulation. No. And again, if you have, I would suppose that most police vehicles have four-wheel drive, or at least have winter tires. Winter tires would be fine in this weather. Doing 25 miles per hour in this weather would be no problem. Enough to make travel difficult for people who don't have massive ambulances and fire trucks, etc. Yeah, almost like people who get special training in driving wouldn't have problems driving in this type of weather. But what do I know? I'm just a baker who don't know nothing about melting snow. Thank you, C-Swept. Exactly what I was looking for. These were the pictures I was looking for. Remember they say, oh, there was this, he was lying in a big pile of snow. Yeah, there's some snow around this place. This must be from the Asian house. Is it from the Asian house? Yeah, this must be the Asian house where this is taken from. You have the fire hydrant here. Then Fairview 34 should be here. This is this Jen's car, Carrie's car. And this is where John is. And there's a lot of people who have been walking around in that area. That's why it looks disturbed. You can see snow has piled up along places here, but you can still see the fire hydrant. It's way open. It's not that bad. Let me open the other one. Yes. Yeah, this is from the Asian house. So this is like the area where John would have been situated in. That would have had the same amount of snow. You can't tell me that you wouldn't see a 220 pound body laying in that. No, I think it's after he has been moved, because you can see the snow is disturbed in this area. I think he has been moved at this point because there's no one in between the trees. So I think he has been moved at this point. Did look like CPD could use some new wipers on the cruisers. Yeah, but that's why you believe that that it was really, because you can see this is taken in the snow with all the light. There should be a lot of snow in the air if it's a snowstorm. There's not. It's snowing. Yes. Yes, snow can accumulate up against things. But you can't tell me John would have been in an area kind of like this. And this is 6 hours after it happened. There wasn't that much snow when everyone left the house, and they would have. Can you see where this car's headlight is? That's around the area where the Jeep would be parked. So you can't tell me when that Jeep lit up its front lights, even though he was drunk and going to do administrative work, he wouldn't be able to see a person here before the snow fell. Ain't no way. Don't get me wrong, if I had a rear-wheel drive sports car with a stick, provided I have snow tires in going out to do donuts. Well, it's fun to do donuts, or you can bring donuts to your nephew in a frozen car. I would go out and have fun in this weather. We once did it in the parking spot at some random thing, and my body slid out and just slammed into the wall. We had to get out of there pretty fast. For people leaving the house before the storm, pull up the video of Caran's car on the way to Fairview. I don't think I have the video. I have the pictures. I think maybe, but I don't have them ready. That's the problem. I need to go to Discord and scroll for 3 hours. You could just put it in. Yeah, but that would be work I don't do. I write children's books for fun. But you're covering this case. Yeah, but that means I have to do work. I don't do work. I just have fun. Entertaining. You're such a good streamer. Not doing anything to entertain. Nah. No, I'm just going to show this one. You can tell on the Ring camera, yeah, it's snowing, but it's not that bad. And this is an hour before. It's not even that bad. You can see her tire tracks where she braked it. That's not 2 inches of snow in the driveway, and the snow is even piling up this way. So many people went in and out of the house. Nobody saw him. Come on, only an idiot would believe that. Exactly. That's why there's a lot of idiots on the other side. Do you have a photo of the Albert's car in the yard to show how much snow was on top of those cars? Not readily available, sadly. But I think we went over that, and I will now recommend any of you who follow this and follow all the side stories. 2 hours ago, Aiden put a new article up where the headline is Canton cover-up part 509. Commonwealth agent Kate Peters sent informant screenshots of Kerry Roberts' text messages with Turtle Boy's license plate information after parking near car during testimony. I won't share it. Give Aiden the views. Let him tell you the story. I think it could be interesting to watch. Tomorrow, 8:50, we'll be back. The full team. I think Mo might have an appointment, but we will cover it on all 3 channels, no matter what. Half day tomorrow for the jury, full day for us because Arca will come in tomorrow. I will predict Arca will be allowed to testify like they did in the first trial, but they are not allowed to rebuke the witness from the Commonwealth. Oh, we have one from Greece. Pandora's Karma. You've been here before, yeah. I didn't mention that yesterday when I talked about having from all over the world. I have a Greaslander. Please check corner. I don't know why it doesn't update on automatically. No, still haven't got it. No, Kristen, nothing from you. The last one is 3 days old and from Stringer Bell. So I haven't. It's kind of like the last time you told me to check. Didn't come through. So I'm sorry. Thank you for thinking of me, and I hope you won't be subtracted. But I haven't gotten any notifications, so I don't think it's gone through. You were charged for them, then I would contact them because I don't have. As you can see, there's no Christie. I don't know if you. Jeepers. Contact them. I hope they at least can submit additional report as court exhibits. I don't think she'll allow it. I think she'll say, well, it's unclear when you hired them, so they're not allowed to testify. Something like that. It's ridiculous to restrict Arca. Have you met Bev? Well, Pandora, please comment way more because we love new people and we love new ideas. And we're good people. Just stay away from Zach. That's all we can say. Those Arca nerds would do some wild stuff with additional data and time on range with that cannon. If they were allowed to this is what they have hired them for, is to debunk Dr. Welcher, I believe his name is, his report. If these guys are allowed free access and paid to do whatever they want to, they will debunk the heck out of that. Remember, he said that thing about the spoiler. If the new idea is the spoiler is what hit him in the back of the head, they have now changed their story 4 times. How John died. Hey, Polly Claire. Yeah, for real though, stay away from Zach. So the neighbors woke up and took pics, but the cop didn't. Yeah, as they called it, the Asian house took pictures. The one on the other side, who was the deputy police superintendent, director, something, was the guy who came out and gave them the red Solo cups. But the cop who slept less than 50 feet away from it heard nothing. And don't wonder why when Jen runs up to the house, the lights inside the house turns on before she reached the front door. I could accept if it was an outside light or a floodlight or something that lit up to help you find the front door, or if for security. But why is the light inside the house turning on? Weird. I might have gotten buy me a coffee on X to fix my stuff previously. X and email, they are dumb, so use every form of contact. Krista, thank you so much. Well, I will give you a post-it, even though I have to fight buy me a coffee now. But thank you so much. So very kind of you. Oh, and I have to say thank you so much, Connie Marie. You donated a big one yesterday just before I ended my stream. But thank you so much, Krista. Thank you, Connie. That spot on the spoiler was either sun damaged or rust. I'm willing to bet it happened over the last 2 years since the cops have had it. I looked at it. To me, it kind of looked like branches where the reflection just stopped because there's a height difference where the spoiler meets the roof. So because I was on my tablet and I zoomed, first of all, I thought if it's grooves, they would have withhold DNA. They would have found DNA and they would have mentioned it. It's a substantial damage. But when I looked again and I looked at the other reflections, it kind of looked like tree branches. I don't know who Zach is. Oh, you're the lucky one. But defense had to know with a prosecutor like Hank, he was going to get into all of this. He's not Lally. Maybe they played really nice with him in the beginning, hoping that he would be a fair prosecutor. They're probably are going with slower speed, sharper object, broken head, smashed tail light, not arm. Yeah, but then they run into the problem with... No, they're not bringing back the lady with the tattoos, are they? Because she said he would have been instantly incapacitated. And that doesn't add up with what he claims because he walked around for 7 seconds after he got hit. But there's another problem with his timeline because he walks again later. Oh, another thing. Hey, it's Sunday night. You need to get to bed. You have a stream tomorrow. Yeah. Shut up. I'm just telling you. I'm complaining to Jamie. Well, complain away. Yeah, but Jamie says you need to go to bed because you're cranky when you don't sleep. Well, I'm not cranky now. Well, you're always cranky. Shut up, Marissa. Let me just do a little... I'm going to do a little drawing. And then another thing I was thinking about. By the way, these are good. Remember what he talked about, that you will see that John O'Keefe, this is Karen Reed's car, this is the fire hydrant, this is the flagpole, this is the house, that they could prove when he left the car because his Bluetooth jumped off the Bluetooth system in the car. Does any of you have a Bluetooth speaker? I know it's kind of modern technology, might not have gotten everywhere yet. But one thing I have found out a lot of times is when I'm sitting in my house and I have my Bluetooth speaker on in my phone because my car is old, so I have an external one. There will be all the way to my living room, actually. There can be where it picks up and goes to my speaker. I can go around shopping, talking on the phone, and then it'll jump on the Bluetooth speaker out in the car if I forget to turn it off when I go into shops. That's one of those things. How does him jumping off the Bluetooth speaker prove that this is when she left? Well, if he was inside the house, which is 50 feet away. We tested it with Jess has one, and she says roughly 50 feet. So if he's disconnected, he's not right next to the car. That doesn't make sense, Mr. Brennan. Because a Bluetooth speaker, I'm going to be really, I know it's kind of cool. I have Bluetooth headphones. So when I'm walking around like today, Sunday is my clean my house day, I'll just put my phone somewhere, put on my Bluetooth speakers, and I'll go around listening to an audiobook. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to the trash cans or I'm going out in the shed in my garden, because I live in a small ass house. I'll just have my phone kind of central in my house, and it'll cover my entire property. So how is it proof that this is when he got out of the car because he jumped off the Bluetooth speaker? It's one of those magical things. If you took the top spoiler or whatever they're calling it to the dome at 24 miles per hour, it would be destroyed and you would be missing a good portion of your head. Yes. You send another one. This one came through. Thank you for buying 5 corner kisses. I'm testing this third time. You know how I feel about you, Baker. Look forward to. I look forward to you, your team, and the community you created. So this one worked. Thank you so much. I hope you're not getting charged for the other ones. The third time is the charm. But thank you so very, very much. Now we need to write another one. Thank you so much, Krista. Oh, you're way too kind today. I have to be 35 to 40 feet away. My car's name is Juan. Mine is Ophelia. My husband gets my Bluetooth connections when I'm in the house and gets in the car. How many times did Jackson mention reasonable doubt in the opening statement? I can't. He mentioned it enough that I noticed it. Hey, don't have fun with Krista. Dirty man. The temperature of John O'Keefe's phone from 77 degrees to 37. What does that mean, Krista? Kimmy, sorry, not Krista. Kimmy, what does that mean? Can you tell me what it means? I know you're just spewing the same stupid statements that you do every time because you don't know what any of it means. You just hear people talk about it and you think, I'm going to sound smart because Mr. Brennan says it. But in reality, it just proves you don't have any thoughts of your own about this case. You think you're smarter than the rest of us because you can be a parrot and quack, Mr. Brennan says quack. But I learned one thing in Tennessee last year. Birds aren't real. Don't be a parrot. Have your own mind. Has anyone tested the reliability of phone temperatures? No. Remember, in the Murdoch case, we were just throwing it around in the office for a weekend. Should prompt it? No, because sometimes we get other trolls in here. Kimmy is just one of the regular trolls. But hey, just like the Church of the Latter-day Saints, I am here to convert a sinner. And before this case is over, I will have Kimmy realizing that just saying the same thing as Brennan doesn't make you smart. But It proves the phone was out in the cold. How? What is the precise conditions that the phone must be under? Because remember, it's under a hot body. Does that slow or speed up the reaction time? Remember, it's isolated from the wind. Does that speed up or slow down the loss of heat? Remember, it's not active. Does that influence how much heat it produces? It's on the ground that's moist. Does that influence how fast or how slow it's losing temperature? What you have is just a stupid statement that you got by watching Brennan. You don't know what it means. You're kind of like Plevin, who goes on and say, well, just wait for the chip-off data. Why? We know the car's black box system didn't register any crash. So what should the other part help? Kimmy, I know it's hard for you because you are really buying into this she did it thing, and it's fine. But you should open your mind and listen to what is said by people who actually proves what they're saying, not people who just say, well, the debris field just moved 5 feet. Does that change anything? No, it'll be fine. How did you figure it out? Science and stuff. Go look at the first trial. Go look with an open mind. Not that, I'm so hateful because I don't like successful women. I am 100% against Turtle Boy. Caran Reed is guilty. Go look at it and go and look at Trooper Paul's testimony. Go look at Scotty Bellow's testimony. Go look at Dr. Russell's testimony. Go look at the ARCA guy's testimony. And go look at, I can't remember the wonderful lady with the tattoos, her testimony. These are all the facts you will have in the case, because do you know why we spent 6 weeks on all the rest of it? Rupert don't mean shit. Jen McCabe don't mean shit. Kerry Roberts don't mean shit. The kids don't mean shit. The Alberts don't mean shit. Just go look at all of that evidence. And if you still come back tomorrow and say, well, I don't think science works, I will not make fun of you every time you open your mouth and chat. Until then, I will bless your sweetheart, because you must be slow, because you don't believe in things like science and stuff. I do, and one of my science and stuff says I should go to bed because I have a stream tomorrow. I hope you will all be there. And they didn't put it in a Faraday box this time. Nope. It's Canton. They don't have fancy stuff like that. It's just a plastic bag with gay. Yeah, I'm a little happy I'm gay today. Everyone, come back tomorrow. And remember, go over and read the newest on Turtle Boy's case about Kerry Roberts' text messages with Turtle Boy's license plate information after parking near car during testimony. Love y'all. See y'all. Thank you all. Have a nice Sunday.
Get cut and dry. Pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right? Pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right?
Objection.
Pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right?